Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In case you're new here, my name is Kim. This is Career Union. I want to share some updates that one of my clients just told me about during our last session. Her and her SP Mirror Soul have been kind of going back and forth for well over 10 years. I'm not going to say the exact year because I'm trying to keep her private details confidential to protect her identity. Anyway, it was a very long time. Last year, they went into separation. They both blocked each other. And after our first session together, which was a couple months ago, she went in and she did the inner work. And so, what she told me during our session, it was yesterday, the day before, is so powerful that I wanted to share it with the intention that it inspires you guys not to give up, to continue to persist, but to persist in your power of unconditional love, of knowing that you are everything and everything is you, that we are all one, that your person is not separate from you, that what's in your deep down in your heart and soul already exists because you wouldn't be able to feel it so deeply unless it did exist. What you seek is seeking you. And that's one of my favorite quotes from Rumi, as well as almost every other quote that I've ever heard Rumi say. But I believe wholeheartedly that it's the truth. You have to get to a point, though, where you are naturally allowing yourself to just receive it and accept it. And you're balanced and you're strong and secure, that you know that you are chosen. You know that you're a priority. You know that you are literally everything to your person. As much as they mean to you, you know that you mean as much to them, right? So you want to really understand this and trust in it. And don't worry about labels of attachment styles or anything and everything that's happening is part of the unfolding. So it's all happening for you. It's not, none of it is happening to you ever. It's always just showing you what you believe based off your perception of whatever it is that you see or hear. And obviously, like I come on many videos, there are a lot of things that you want to stop doing because the habits are what keeps you from being able to feel natural, that you are, one with your person, that you guys are together, that you have a lovely, wonderful, loving, healthy, secure, stable, fun relationship with challenges, but you guys get through it. You don't run away from each other. You don't push each other away, all of that great stuff. You don't need to go and dig for problems. You don't need to do more inner child work. You don't need to go reparent yourself. What you do need to do is just choose yourself and love yourself and have compassion for yourself and know how amazing and incredible and powerful you are. And if your body goes into fear mode, if you feel that you're in fight or flight, just you can affirm for, I love that I'm able to stabilize my emotional nervous system so easily. I love that I'm able to step into my power so much easier. I love that I always feel cool, calm, collected, and grounded very easily and quickly. I'm going to get to my client in a second. I just had like such a moment 2 nights ago because I'm buying a house and I started to get caught up in the time element. I literally bought a house. It didn't obviously pass papers or anything, but I made an offer on a house. I was paying too much attention to a very specific date. I just canceled the contract. I just said, I'm pulling out. This is not the home for me, this and that. So the point I'm trying to make though is that the feeling that came up in my body was fast, it was intense, it was a lot of fear that came over me. I don't have a self-concept issue around money. I don't have a self-concept issue around manifesting homes because I've manifested plenty of money. I've manifested successful businesses. I've manifested dream homes, dream cars, and all of that. If I did have an issue around those things, my trigger may be something that I want to look at and then look at those stories, but I don't have those stories to overcome. My thing was simply I was putting myself in a rush, in a time crunch, which is stupid because time is just an illusion, but I fell for it a little bit. And because of that, I was willing to settle for less. And obviously, it's a big ticket item, and I don't want to move into a home that's not what we want. Anyway, why I brought that up was just simply to say, doesn't matter what your body physically is going through, just tell yourself that you're loved, tell yourself that you're safe, give yourself love in the moment. When you're in a lower level of consciousness, fear, blame, doubt, guilt, shame, all of that great stuff. When you're in that energy, you believe that you're separate from everything. It's just a moment of illusion. That's all that it is. By the way, it doesn't mean that what happened in the 3D isn't real. It just means that what happened in the 3D was a solidified experience of your past stories. Anyway, then just surrender and detach from it, meaning give yourself love in the moment. Tell yourself how safe you are. Tell yourself you're secure. Everything is going to be okay. And then surrender as if God was outside of you. But God, you are God having a human experience as the character of whoever you believe you are. But that's changeable. It's malleable. And when you change, your reality has to change. You're malleable. You can change, but you have to conform and change and get in alignment with what it is that you want. Then your reality always has to show it to you. So I'll tell the story now. So if you love me, if you love my content, like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps my channel grow. I know that my videos are helping so many people because I can see proof and evidence in the comments section below. Obviously, I see proof and evidence with a lot of my clients having different transformational experiences through the journey. Everybody's at a different place, but this is my experience. So anyway, helping the channel grow, I do appreciate it. And if you want me to be your coach to help you manifest anything at all related to your SP, email a short description to me at kim@coreunion.com. Go to the website, coreunion.com, book whatever you want to book. My scheduling assistant, Olga, will get back to you with my next available. So I met with my client just a couple days ago. So it was a very powerful session because, again, many, many years going back and forth with her and her person. Last year, blocked each other. So they've both had each other blocked for a year. We met one time a couple months ago. She went and she did the inner work that I gave her. We addressed some of her old stories. I did what I do. And if you want a session with me, obviously just book it and I can help you too. But I gave her the inner work. I gave her the structure. I gave her some tools. If through the day, depending on what comes up in her mind, I gave her tools and I explained how to do what I do, basically, based on what her limiting beliefs are. So this last session, her person ended up reaching out to her out of nowhere on an app that they were never even connected on. So he literally just reached out something long. I don't remember everything, so I'm going to just have to kind of go with what I can remember from the session, but something like, "Hey, how are you?" And she was like, of course, he's reaching out. It was after she had done some Ho'oponopono, I believe, and she was in the middle of a meditation. I could be wrong with that. I could be mixing that with another client because I've had at least 4 clients in the past couple of days tell me about the movement that they've had. So I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. Anyway, so now they're communicating. She noted that before this day happened, she's been doing the inner work. She's also been very in her essence, in her power, choosing herself, loving herself, doing things for herself, including, and I'm not saying that you have to do this because this was just a desire of hers. She booked a trip, non-refundable, intentionally to Rome. So she had no choice but to go because she really wanted to give that experience to herself. So she went to Italy. She said she had an amazing time. It was incredibly liberating. It was inspiring. So that was all part of, she was taking care of herself, choosing herself, loving herself, doing things for herself, listening to her needs, not ignoring herself, doing the inner work. And then out of nowhere, even though they were both blocked, he reaches out on an app that they were never even connected on. That was what was so funny. So then they're kind of going back and forth a little bit, and he ends up bringing up different memories from the past. Now, what ended up happening was he ended up wanting to see a picture of her. He said, "Please send a picture." She got triggered by that. She felt that he was objectifying her. He then sent another picture. He said something about, "Send a picture. I want to see your body." She replied and she said she was upset with it. And she said something about, "You're being disrespectful." And he said, "Haha, come on. I'm not being disrespectful." And he apologized. But she was already triggered. So her perception was, and she said, there's a third party and he's disrespecting me. So, we got into it a little bit, and then we got to the point where I was now helping her mirror her own perception. And I just said, okay, in the 3D, when somebody wants to see a picture of you, it's because they're attracted to you. If somebody is showing that they're interested in you sexually and you're interpreting it, now you guys have history. You know that you guys are deeply, you have something deep. But when your perception is all they want is sex, that you feel objectified, you have to, why? Why is it a bad thing when somebody shows desire? So say some affirmations. It's safe to be desired. Love is safe. Intimacy is safe. Safe for me to enjoy pleasure. My body is safe feeling pleasure. Don't see him as objectifying you. See him as desiring you and loving you because he wants you, because he's in love with you. So just change that little story, because it was the perception that you were being objectified, or saying this to everybody. It's the story of this is all that they want. So then you're going to experience things from your perspective that you're just an object. You're not fully and deeply loved. So that means that yes, you're loving yourself, and that's amazing, but you're not seeing him as a man who loves you deeply, who is a strong, confident, committed man, loyal and devoted. So look at how you're seeing him as well. And then I asked, and so what's up with the third party that you're saying? And she admitted she got no reflection of that in the 3D, but she still carried the story into it. So let go of the story. I explained to her, let go of the story. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. Everything only exists in the now moment. So let go of the past. The past was one of infinite timelines that you ended up experiencing, but you could have even experienced a different version of him in the past had you known who you are. And now you know who you are. Now you understand what life is. So let go of it. Anyway, the session itself was very helpful for her. It was very inspirational for me. I knew that it would inspire a lot of you guys. One of the takeaways from it for her was that she really had to, she was bordering, I think I might be open to being with someone else, but I'm not sure. And that's not something I can answer for you. But how I see it is this, just like with the house that I was bringing up, okay? Doesn't matter what we're talking about manifesting. If you love someone enough, with the amount of love that I have for my mirror soul, it wouldn't matter. There are no deal breakers. If I loved a house, no matter how many imperfections there were, I would deal with it. I wouldn't care. It's when you are really natural, when you have made it that it feels natural, you've released the past, you've let it go, you recognize your power, you're balanced, you are in your trust, you're not questioning anything anymore, that anything and everything that is happening, when it starts to materialize in your 3D, it's the unfolding of it. It's not the full manifestation. So when you get tripped up, it's okay. It's part of the process, but let it go. Just let it go and go back to your end and just persist in your end. It has to conform. Your reality always has to conform to you. And the desire itself is the promise of the wish fulfilled. So please do affirm down below. The desire in my heart and soul is my promise. And reach out to me if you need me. I intend that this video helped. I love you so much. Have an amazing day. Bye.
Nothing can come, nothing can come, nothing can come between us.